All right, so now we're going to leave Fritz's fertilizer, and we're going to go around to the right of the layout underneath a mountain scene, which I'll show later. But I want to get over here to mineral, and this is upper mineral. And this is modern day type strip mall. So in the background, I'm showing you that first, and then we'll get to the junkyard in the foreground. But this is the strip mall here of Upper Mineral. Got our parking lot and our shopping area and cars all over the place. And then on down, we go into an industrial scene where we have some warehouses, and I'll get to that later too. I've got some lights in here that I'll have to move. Okay, so let's take a look at the junkyard the best I can here. I'm limited on space. It's really tight. So let's see what I can do here. I'm going to drop the camera down. Kind of shooting at an angle, but not at an angle. Alright, so get that into focus. So this is our junkyard scene. And it turned out pretty well. It was not intended to be. This whole area up here was going to be just a kind of a pastoral scene with a little hill here coming out of the tunnel and some grass and weeds and whatnot, nothing more than that. But I wanted to create more commerce for the Milwaukee Road, so I decided to put this rather wedge-shaped scrapyard in here. So turned out pretty good. See if I can get in a little bit closer so you can see some of the detail in here. Here, let me bring this up and bring it down. Bring the camera down. I'm on a tripod with wheels. It's working out pretty well. Okay, so you can see some of the junk in here and paraphernalia. We have a crane here, an ex-Milwaukee crane that we're using with a magnetic plate on it. And we're also into recycling aluminum, so there's a lot of that going on here. We have a crusher in here. I have a scale in here for weighing the trucks. And then we go on down the line, and we then go into some of the holding area here for the cars that move on up to Morton, and that's what we're going to discuss in a future section. But I want to finish up Upper Mineral here first, and then we'll go on down the line to look at the Mountaineer Scenic Railroad terminal and servicing area for the locomotives. But I got to move the stage lights here, so let me shut the camera off and do some reconnoitering here. So here's a kind of our aerial shot of the Upper Mineral scene. We can see everything here, the junkyard and the two strip mall buildings, and we can see where the tracks are coming out underneath the mountain here. And then they diverge in here to a holding area, and then we have one runaround track to move cars back and forth to prepare them to go to Morton. And then I'm going to lower this down a bit. We have on the back side a couple of relief buildings. These are also Walthers. Candy wafers from Nico. American Classics. And then we have Bud's Trucking and also E-Machine company down there at the end. So there's a spur that was put in there to support that as well. And then in the foreground, I'll bring this down some more, we have Dave Ravella's pallet operation. And so that's quite a busy place in there. We handle boxcars of pallets coming in and out, and also lumber from 2x4 that comes in and out. Let's see if I can get some more light on it. There we go. Yeah, that's a pretty busy place. Lots of fun. Again, it has its own security gate there, and you can see there's a 50-foot car sitting in there right now. And in the front we have a pond. Let me raise this up a little. See if we can't get kind of an aerial shot of this. Bird's eye view. There we go. Tip it down a little bit. There you go. Maybe we should move in a little closer, huh? Yeah, so, this is one of those, I think it's a Blair kit, like $20, but you can certainly do a lot with it. He's also leasing or renting out Shardy containers as well. We have a little marsh scene in here in the front. And then from there, we have the mineral station. And again, I'm going to have to move the lights so you can see what's going on here. But that's the gist of what's down here in Mineral, in Upper Mineral. And sitting on the tracks there is some freight ready to go to Morton. And that track there with the caboose on it is the grade track that goes up into the helix. And that helix is up here in the upper right hand corner, up by the farmhouse up there. And I'll show that a little bit more detail here in a bit. All right, so here we have another shot of Bob Ravella's pallet company. A little aerial shot here. We're going to just pan over and go on down. Take a look at the mineral station. And we got a little dirt road here, a little side trip here for going up to a farmhouse, which I'll show in a second, but I wanted to show the mineral station first, which is in the foreground here. And then in the background, whoops, we have a farm scene. And that farm scene is one where there have apple trees. You can see them there in the background. And below that, right there, you can see a kind of a dark hole on the upper right-hand side is the entryway to the helix. And below that, oops, is Mineral Lake. I would like to make it bigger, but I like to run trains too, so that's the way it goes sometimes. And then above that is the town of Old Mineral. And let me focus in here and we'll look at that. Okay, so we have Mineral Lake. And above that we have the KOA camp, which does exist. It's probably the only thing on the mineral side that I'm modeling, because actually there isn't much left of Mineral except a bar and I think a high school or something. But I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting than that, so I have a section here that's not quite done, and this will be the old town of Mineral. that down a little bit. Yeah, so I got a few buildings in here. And I got a few to put in the foreground. There's one or two left I need to build. So this is the part, or the incomplete part of the layout. And if I circle around, you'll see that there's an overpass bridge here. And then we're going to move on down close to the helix and look at the unfinished part of the layout, which is for the terminal and for the historical museum for the Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad. Alrighty, so this is the Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad terminal, or terminus. This is where the museum trains end up at. Eventually this will be a depiction of what Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad has at their terminus. I'm going to have to scratch build the shops. And you see I've got a mock-up there of one of them. And there's another one back there along the far wall. The reason this has not been worked on is because this nasty old helix is in my way, basically, as far as modeling goes. I need to cover this up. And until that gets done, why the scenery and the modeling and the detail work for the Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad terminal isn't going to take place. So, but the track's all in, and I can run trains in here and bring in the tourist train, make believe a little bit. So that pretty much ends the lower level of the Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad and Milwaukee line. And so I'm going to go over and just do a little segue here of my workbench and programming track. Okay, so back along the far wall is my programming track and also all of the NCE paraphernalia that makes the trains work on the layout. And the boosters are over there in the corner, and the command station. And then to the right, just out of point of interest, just for something fun, is my workbench. And nothing special, but as you can see, I'm pretty tight on space in here, especially in this one corner. And yeah, and then over on my left is the my chair, and also in the dark over here on the far left is my computer. So that's my setup. And that's pretty much what's on the lower level. We'll now turn to the upper level and look at what's going on up there. Thanks for watching.